Here we are down the flying field with the FMS 1.7 metre F4U Corsair. You may have seen that my good friend Finn, 11 years old, can fly so well, much better than I can. And he's learning very quickly, but he just recently reviewed the 1.3 metre version of this. This is practically identical in every way, with the exception that it has a retractable tail wheel, which that version does not have. But this has all the other scale features. It has twist and turn retracts. It's got all the scale features you'd expect, like the 4-blade propeller. Out of the box, first thing, it arrives in a box that's very well padded, nothing will move around, that's the first thing. And then there are very few components, so it goes together really well and very quickly. There are nothing to glue onto it. All the scale details already on there. The only thing I did do is put a bit of tape here, because when I pressed this catch it didn't pop up. It does that now for some reason. That's where your battery goes. I'm using a 4S, sorry, I am using a 4MAX 6S 6000 pack. You could use the 6S 5000 pack. It's also got the Reflex version 2 gyro system in here, so great on a day like today. It's blowing up to 28 miles an hour today, and the gyro won't fly it for you, but it's got 3 modes, and the most important for me today is optimized mode, because it will cancel out the turbulence from the wind, all the gusts and everything like that, and just makes it look more locked in as opposed to being bumped around. It's got another mode, stabilized mode, which is for beginners. It will prevent it rolling inverted, and that's good for a beginner, and you can turn it off altogether. So I think that's it. The only other thing to add is there are rockets that you can add on to this, but if you choose not to go with those, it comes with blanks that are already inserted into the wing, should you prefer that look, which I do actually, slightly less drag. So let's plug it in, let's get it in the sky, let's see how it flies. Okay, here we go. One important thing to mention, make sure you calibrate the throttle the first time before you fly for the first time. It's important because that will ensure you get full power. Very easy to do, look it up on the instructions. It's a tail dragger, so more challenging from the ground control perspective. I'm not going to use flaps for takeoff because it is so windy. Just don't need the effect of the half flap for takeoff, I don't think. So, all good. Here we go. Tail wheel already wants to lift. And it's away. That was a nice takeoff. I like it when the tail wheel gets in the air, followed by the mains shortly after. So, doesn't need any trim.
It's pretty drama free, wasn't it?
Yeah, God. Doesn't need any trim. That's fantastic. Go down to my middle rate. Don't need the large throws on a model like this. As long as you make sure that everything is neutral and you've got the CG correct with your battery placement, then you shouldn't have to do much trimming.
Gyro's on?
So gyro is on now.
Yeah.
So it should look a bit more locked in. Well, it does to me already. Except for my slightly wild flying. And go back up to the high rate again. Not really having to use full throttle either. Just for that scale speed. Coming low for the camera. I mean, it's ridiculous considering how blowy it is. It's looking pretty good, I have to say. We'll keep the flight fairly short. We'll put retracts down, the gear down on the next pass. Gear down. I'm not going to use flaps. Again, it's so windy, I just don't think it's going to need it. Rudder to kick the background. Well, not perfect, but good enough. There we go, FMS 1.7 meter F4U Corsair running on a Formex 6S 6000 pack with an FR Sky XATAR receiver and my favourite radio, the Radio Master TX16S, a fraction of the price of the other premium radios, but does so much more with Edge TX. Thanks for watching another episode of Essential RC. We don't mind flying in conditions like this, do we, Jay? As long as it's not raining, as long as it's dry, we don't mind flying.
And warm.
And relatively warm. If it was this windy in winter, it would be pretty cold on the hands. But thanks as always to Jay for filming, and we'll be back soon for another episode of Essential RC. Thanks guys, see you soon. away. That was a nice thing.